where Curtis Gale does all of our powder coating. So we'll go inside and show you what this is like. Got some wheels, more parts. How's it going, Curtis?
Hey, Geoff,
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Appreciate you taking care of our stuff.
No problem. So,
we're here at Gale Enameling. You can see Curtis has got a lot of parts to powder coat. Here's our wing boards. Finally got them all prepped. We've got a special yellow that Curtis ordered in for us. So we're gonna go yellow here, right? And you were saying probably do a white first.
Probably do a base coat of white so the yellow will pop better and cover better over the black.
Perfect, perfect.
And we're working with the semi-gloss satin black, we call it on this. It'll just be a little lower gloss, looks real nice and soft.
Sweet.
And on this stuff we're gonna go gloss black, which will be look like wet paint. Matter of fact, it's called super gloss, super wet black.
Perfect, man. Well, that all sounds good, and we're definitely looking forward to getting our stuff looking as nice as the rest of our stuff that you've done for us does.
Well, thank you.
Give us a shout when you've got her finished up, and we'll come down and maybe show people a little bit more about the powder coating process and how it works. If that's cool.
All right.
Much appreciated, man.
Thanks, Jeff.
So these are the parts we dropped off to Curtis. This is our old black wing. It's kind of a spare to a spare, but we wanted to get it updated to the yellow paint scheme and change out the graphics for our current 77. We also dropped off these racks on the donkey that are raw aluminum. Decided to get them powder coated a nice black to look a bit more factory. All right, now that we got the decals off, it's time to get the extra glue off. I like to use a little brake clean and an old, like a cheap painter's towel. So it does take a little bit of elbow grease, but it'll come off and we'll get it cleaned up and ready to start taking this wing apart. We're back here at Gale Enameling, and we got some donkey parts. I think they came out pretty good, Curtis. What do you think?
Yeah, I was satisfied.
So what do you call the texture that you put in there?
It's called Mini-Tex.
Mini-Tex?
Like a black Mini-Tex.
Yeah, no, that worked out good.
It's got little polyester beads in it. That's
interesting.
What gives the texture.
Well, this is the pickup bay. It looks like you got quite a bit of stuff moved out of here.
Yeah.
So how long have you been powder coating, Curtis?
Since 2000. So
since 2000?
4 years.
So what's the history of Gale Enameling?
It goes back to 1940s when it was originally started. My dad bought it from one of the original owners in 1971. And then I bought it from him in 2000.
So tell us a little bit, why powder coat over paint?
Well, powder's number one thing they really like, it's environmentally correct. There's no thinners, no VOCs that come out of it that will cause me harm as I breathe them or the atmosphere any harm.
I didn't know that.
Other than that, it's extremely durable. Probably twice as durable as any paint you can spray on that.
That's why we've always powder coated stuff, was for the durability, but I didn't know about the environmental side of that. That's good. And what is the process? Can we walk through and show us kind of what happens?
Yeah. A lot of material we get in for like these wheel rims or some of this stuff over here, there's some exercise equipment over there that's been sandblasted. These sprint car frames have been sandblasted. That's a perfect substrate for the powder to go on to. Now these garage door panels we do, they come in raw aluminum, and since it's not really practical to sandblast, or with the aluminum being so soft, it would be too much. We go over this with a disc sander and put a
scuff them up a little bit.
Yeah, scuff it up, and then the powder will stick. Because otherwise it doesn't want to stick, especially the aluminum.
So once you've got your surface prepared, what's the next step?
We will pre-bake it to make sure we bake any oils or from handling it or preparing it. Plus some things gas off, like castings and so forth. And then we're ready to go up to the booth here and actually spray.
When you pre-bake it, how hot do you have to get the part?
We're getting them up to 400 degrees.
For how long?
Which is the same we cure the powder on it. We'll leave it for about anywhere from a half hour to an hour, kind of depending on the mass, how long it takes to get up to temperature. Something thin like this almost immediately gets up to temperature, so a half hour is more than enough. Something that has more mass to it, you leave for an hour. We always play on the safe side to make sure we give it enough time.
So then this is where you actually spray the powder in these booths here?
Yep.
And what makes the powder stick?
It's an electric, electric charge. As this powder comes through this gun out of the container, it actually goes through an aura, they call it, and it gives it a positive charge. And then we ground anything that we put on this steel bar, you see is grounded back to the ground. And then you have negative, positive powder, and they attract.
So once you've sprayed it, what happens next?
It goes into the oven.
And you bake it again at 400 degrees. How long does it bake for?
It actually takes 10 minutes once you get it up to 400 degrees. But that's kind of not a very exact science, especially when you're doing so many different sizes and shapes. So that's where we leave most things for an hour to make sure they get up to temperature and hold there for 10 minutes.
Can you overcook one?
It takes a long time to overcook it. I mean, you'd have to leave it basically all day, like 8 to 10 hours, and then you might start to get some degradation of the finish and some discoloration.
So the whole process, start to finish, if somebody brings you a part, how long does it take you guys internally to get it done?
Well, if we were to kind of drop everything and just concentrate on a part, say we decided to do that motorcycle wheel, we'd probably have about 3 to 4 hours total in that wheel. There's some masking involved on that. You can see the green tape here. We don't want to get powder in this race right here, this idea, this where the bearing has to come in and out. So we use this polyester tape, which will withstand the heat cycle, and it has a special glue that doesn't leave a lot of glue left behind on the metal when we're done with the process.
I see our steering wheel is up there and we're getting close to ready to go.
Yep.
Well, one thing that we always have appreciated about you, Curtis, is when we need something in a pinch, you typically get it done. So our donkey parts have created quite the mess in the shop because that thing holds way more stuff than I even realized it held.
Right.
Until I unpacked it to bring the parts down, and there was not a whole lot of room to work around it. So we definitely appreciate you getting us taken care of.
Well,
and
we appreciate you bringing it out, and we always try to take care of our customers the best we can. So
Yeah, so if you're in, how big a service area do people bring you parts
Oh
from?
my, we get pretty much statewide.
Yeah, so if you're in Indiana and you're looking to get some parts finished and you want a environmentally friendly, durable finish, Gale Enameling's your place. That's where we take all of our stuff and have from quite a while. And Curtis does a great job, can get you the colors that you want and turn your stuff around when you need it. Appreciate it, man. Pretty happy with how those parts turned out. We used the donkey for a couple years after we built it, and so it had a fair bit of use, and the aluminum was getting to be kind of in bad shape, and I wasn't sure how well the powder coat would come out, but Curtis really nailed it. And we'll get these parts back to the shop and get this thing put together and show you guys our workhorse of our pit equipment that is kind of our mobile pit box.